Okay, so before we dig out, Fashmented's mentioned something really super cool that's actually been a discussion, which is, do you think many people will create a song with these tools and then use real instruments to record them? Okay, so that's right up there with, this is a unique conversation that I'm having with another composer. And this is pretty visceral in the sense because I'm that guy that goes, yeah, look, I get it. But each one of us, this is me and this other composer and this musician, we're sitting here talking. And it was on a Zoom. I should have recorded it. It got a little pretty thick for a second there, which was, well, I was influenced by blah, 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 blah music in the 70s and my journey. And the composer that I was talking to, I know he was influenced by blah, 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 went to school and studied orchestra and stuff like that. So he listened to a lot of classical arrangers and composers and stuff. He was influenced by that, where he in turn sits down at the piano and he creates, and guitar, whatever. So those are the influences. One of the conversations that I said, well, here's where remember where I was talking about earlier in the stream, which was how the barrier to entry creatively is now down to, let's say, almost zero, as far as what it'll take to write music in the future, notwithstanding all the copyright and legal implications of what's happening right now, is the fact that based on what Fashmente just asked me as a question, which is, if somebody generates a song here and then they go, oh, cool, I'm going to turn around and use that and put my own instruments to it, that's what I'm talking about. The influence is going to change when somebody who doesn't know much about music or something, or somebody who has limited music knowledge, goes in there, prompts something, listens to it, goes, man, I love this. What a great chord change. I would never have thought of that chord change. And then they actually take that track, not from the downloaded file they get from these AI-generated companies, but then learn the chords, and then maybe have their friends play it and do something, and then maybe add some more stuff to it. All of a sudden, it's a baseline of an influence that in turn, unless they use AI-generated lyrics and don't put any artistic value into that was my discussion with these composers, going, well, this is now going to be, my grandkids that are anywhere between 2 years old and 12 years old, in that genre or generation, I don't even know what they call that generation, might be, oh, this is how you do it. Because remember, they're starting from a baseline of not knowing what it was like to write music beforehand. So if they get influenced by going to Suno or 11 Labs or Udio and typing in this stuff, and they get really creative with the prompts, and then these prompts churn out a genre that doesn't even really exist anymore, then all of a sudden, boom, you're just kind of using now that generated thing that you prompted as an influence for you to go to the next step, to learn to become maybe a better composer, a better musician, so on and so forth. So that was a long answer to your question, Fashmente, but that was my position on it. So anyhow, that was my story here on the stream, just based on this AI thing. Thanks for all of the comments and everything and the subscriptions and yada, yada, yada. And I know I'm going to get smoked in some of the comments for what I had said earlier, but it is what it is. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. All right.